I now give the floor to Mr. Charles Owiredu, Vice Minister for Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration of Ghana.
Mr. Chairman, Excellencies, distinguished delegates, I have the honor to deliver this statement on behalf of the government of Ghana. My delegation joins previous speakers in thanking His Excellency President Mauricio Macri and the government of Argentina for hosting this conference and for the excellent facilities placed at our disposal. Ghana aligns herself with a statement delivered by the State of Palestine on behalf of the Group of 77 and China. 40 years ago, on the basis of ideas and principles of South-South cooperation, we began to chart a path towards a more democratic, fair, and equitable economic system, and to address the gaping economic disparities between North and South through collective self-reliance and the promotion of technical cooperation among developing countries. Ghana is pleased to note that considerable progress has been made since the landmark conference. Over the years, countries of the South have significantly increased their weight in the world economy and today account for more than 59% of global GDP. South-South trade as a share of world merchandise has risen appreciably since the 80s and now represents 26% of global trade, while a third of FDI outflows can be attributed to countries of the South. This signals great potential for advancing the development aspirations of our respective nations and regions. Ghana believes that in the same spirit of mutual assistance and solidarity that inspired us in 1978, we can make greater strides in South-South cooperation and triangular cooperation in the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals. The steady expansion of South-South cooperation in terms of its volume, country participation, and diversification present us with significant opportunities to be tapped. We therefore welcome the convening of this conference as an auspicious moment and an opportunity to reinvigorate South-South cooperation and harness its potential for accelerated implementation of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. Mr. Chairman, South-South cooperation is not meant to replace North-South cooperation and must not undermine the commitments that were made by the developed North within the context of the Addis Ababa Action Agenda on Financing for Development and the SDGs. We are cognizant of the fact that while overseas development assistance remains a dominant pillar of development finance, the financial resources needed for the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals cannot be met by the ODA alone. For this reason, Ghana calls upon the international community to explore means of leveraging new and innovative funding mechanisms under the framework of South-South cooperation to complement ODA inflows. We must forge effective partnerships among governments, public and private sector actors, academia, and non-governmental organizations, particularly philanthropy in these efforts. The expansion of South-led multilateral development banks in recent years also presents us with an opportunity to explore additional financing mechanisms for the SDG implementation, particularly infrastructure development and climate financing. Interregional collaborative initiatives such as the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation (FOCAC), the Indian-Africa Forum Summit, and the Turkey-Africa Economic and Business Forum should be further utilized to enhance the implementation of the SDGs, particularly in those areas, goals, and targets that could benefit from such collaboration. The expansion of South-led multilateral development banks also presents an opportunity to explore financing mechanisms for the sustainable development projects in developing countries. One of the major successes of South-South cooperation has been in the area of capacity building, knowledge sharing, and technology transfer. We wish to urge greater South-South cooperation and triangular cooperation, including sharing of knowledge and best practices in order to address the incidence of corruption and illicit financial flows, which impede economic development, deepen inequality, and reduce the availability of financial resources for national development. Mr. Chairman, Ghana's economy, like many lower middle-income countries, faces challenges including constrained national financial resources to invest in development, infrastructural gaps, persistent inequalities, high dependence on export of raw natural resources and unprocessed crops, effects of environmental degradation and climate change, as well as the burgeoning cohort of young people who must be absorbed into the workforce. Our medium-term development aspirations, as defined in the President's Coordinated Program of Economic and Social Development Policies 2017 to 2024, has identified a new direction for our country's development in creating the conditions for the Ghanaian private sector to propel growth and create employment opportunities. While not underestimating the importance of development assistance, the government of Ghana has defined the Ghana Beyond Aid policy for self-reliant growth and to break out of the mindset of dependency. This policy is to be founded on the creation of conditions that will foster private sector innovation, industrialization, and job growth. Ghana looks forward to forging strong partnerships in these efforts and believes that South-South cooperation provides a framework for providing private sector-led initiatives that can advance our development efforts. We've witnessed the success of the several vibrant and viable economic and business relationships forged at the bilateral level with many countries in the global south, who come to the table with their unique comparative advantage and emphasis on shared values, mutual interest, and understanding. We are determined to build upon these relationships to realize this full potential in meeting the socio-economic well-being and prosperity of our people. Mr. Chairman, in conclusion, I wish to urge that we strengthen our institutions to seriously address South-South cooperation and to fully integrate this approach in our various development strategies and policies. The stark reality of millions of people still living in extreme poverty around the world, rising inequality, and climate change are a matter of serious concern. Let us resolve individually and collectively to take the steps needed to enhance the effectiveness of South-South cooperation and partnerships to address these challenges. The hopes and aspirations of our peoples today and for succeeding generations rest upon us, and we must not fail. I thank you.
Doy gracias.